Hello all, welcome to the channel Codewood. Today we are going to discuss about PSP gateways, uh, of basically how a scan system works when you go to store, when you pay something through the QR. So how exactly things happen in the back end. So let's understand this. Let's get started. Yeah. So I've already made one UML diagram or diagram to showcase what exactly or how exactly it works. So first of all, let's take one scenario. Let me hide this first. Let me take one scenario. Let's say you go to the store and you bought something. For example, cookies, biscuits, toast, whatever. Now you go to the cash counter. Now it's time when you want to avoid, but basically you can't because you have to pay whatever you have bought from the store. So you go there, you go to the cash counter, and the cash counters, the merchant will scan all your items, and according to the you know the MRP, it will cut off some discount, whatever it is. Now the all the exact amount it's being returned, it's basically we can say it's show into their display in merchants. Let's say for example, here I'm taking an example of 1,000 rupees. You can see here, let's say your total payment bill is 1,000 rupees. Now it has also shown the order ID on the merchants whenever you notice. So the next time when you go to the store, so if you can able to see, I'm not forcing you, but if you can able to see, then try to see it. There are two things mentioned over there. One is amount, the second one is the merchant ID. Sorry, order ID, not the merchant ID. Obviously the merchant ID will also be mentioned over there. Yeah, because it should be shows who's logged in at that time when you are doing the transaction. So it's amount, order ID. Now when you click on the proceed button, there is one proceed, or sometime it's checkout button. So when the merchants will click on it, it will send a request to the PSP gateway, payment service provider gateway. Now basically what exactly is PSP gateway? Basically it handles all your authorization, authentication, as well as it encrypts your payment and also transmit your payment to the banks, right? And also handles some other logics as well. You don't need to externally do anything else. Obviously update your transactions in the bank, or get the amount from the bank, send the amount to the bank. So it do all these things. PSP gateway, it is responsible for all those transactions happening in the backend. So now the payment, this PSP gateway will save your order ID into the database. Obviously, you have to store somewhere. Otherwise, you will not able to get the transaction details, the passbook when you do generally at the end of the month. You can't able to see that. So it saves your order ID into the database. Now, from the database, according to the database, order ID from the database, it generates one URL. Basically it's a QR code URL. You can see over here, it's a QR code URL. Now in the QR code URL, obviously it will again send this QR code URL to the PSP gateway. This PSP gateway obviously return this URL to the merchant's screen, but obviously it's not possible you every time you visit to the URL then pay over there. No, so it generates some QR code. You have to put some logic over there, as well as you have to put some logic over there, because every time when you generating the URL through the order ID or based on the order ID, so you have to put some logic over there so that it can generate the URL, and through the URL it will generate the PSP. I mean, basically your URL will be sent to the PSP gateway so that it can understand, yeah, the URL has been written. Now I have to return this URL to the merchant's screen, but not the URL. Obviously, the URL's is image QR image, not the QR URLs. So we have to obviously write some logic over there to convert those URLs into the images. I have used this in one of my web project. I can share with you in the description if I got it. Otherwise, I'll tell you about this in the next video. So this is the amount. Now you can the merchants can successfully see this the transaction QR code. Now it's time for you to pay. Now this is the merchant part. When he clicks onto the checkout button, and now he get the QR code. Now this all process happening within the milliseconds or seconds. Now it's time for you to pay the payment, or you can leave the store. Jokes apart, you can scan the code. You When you scan the code, after scanning the code, it will read the transaction, and it will read the transaction through the PSP gateway. When you click to the pay, obviously it will again send a request to the PSP gateway. Otherwise, when you click onto the payment, it will say payment done. But from your side, from the merchant side, it will always say payments it's not yet being completed. So when you pay 1,000 times, it's gonna say same thing, not completed. So obviously through the PSP gateway, you have to update your merchant as well as your consumer as well. The payment is being done from this for this particular URL code from this particular IP or from particular this particular device. Then successfully you get the message payment done. But you can see the things happening in the back end when you do the transaction. you know you go to the store, you do the transaction, or whenever you go something somewhere else, it depends on you, it's up to you. But yeah, these all things happens at the back end. Yeah, so I hope you got the clear idea of how PSP gateway, how scan system works. So let's see in the next video.